Hello and welcome to Tea Time with Nana. My name's Isis Couture.
And I'm Kamora More.
And this is a show where we discuss all kinds of things, topics, do reviews, critique some bitches, and spill some tea. So first up, I just want to get to know my co-host. Let's start off with something easy. How long have you been doing drag and why did you start doing drag?
Okay, so I started doing drag probably about 14 years ago. 15 going on this year.
That's it? It looks like a lot more.
Yeah, you think so. At the same time, girl, you have to also remember, I've only been doing good drag for about 4 years.
Yeah, you've only been doing good drag for a couple months.
That
too. So stupid.
And she's only getting better though. Don't worry, I ain't worried. You worried?
So where did you start doing drag? In Toronto?
In Toronto, in the ballroom scene.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, I lie. Okay, you know what?
Tell me.
There
has to be more of a
story. There is.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first time really doing drag was to sneak into clubs. Because all the clubs in Toronto, if you were in drag, they would just think that you were probably performing or you were doing something. So they just let you through. So, girl, I would get up and drag, go to the clubs, all my older friends, and have a ball. So that's when I really started drag.
Okay.
But then I went and started doing small performances here or there for the all ages clubs.
Oh my god, not an all age club.
Yes, the all age nights and the all age clubs. That's where I really started. And then from Beyonce was the first number.
What Beyonce song though? It better be a good one.
Oh.
Also, we probably can't actually sing
the
song. We're new to this. I don't think we can actually sing this song.
So yeah, that one. And then Khalees Blindfold Me.
Oh, I've never seen anybody perform that song.
Oh,
and that is a good song.
And I was literally, I was always up with the shit. So I was actually tied up and blindfolded, and I broke 3, and then
there's a Toni Braxton song that's like Bind Me or Blindfold Me too. That's really good. That I've seen some like Atlanta girls do, and it's so good.
Come on,
it's so good. So for me, I started drag about like 14, 15 years ago. And it literally was just something that I always wanted to do. My family's like Hispanic. So like I'm the oldest. I'm the first gay person in my family. So
Same.
Like odd man out. So I always used to see like RuPaul, Amanda Lepore, all the club kids from New York, the girls from the ballroom scene.
Yep.
So many trans, and then the Continental pageant.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I used to always like sneak and watch it. Remember when Continental had the VHS tape? Yes.
Girl.
Yes.
Girl.
Yes.
Mind you, there was and the place is gone now. There was a video store that was on if you were facing Cruise and Tango's, the other street. It was on your left-hand side. That video store, so they had the back room. Where I get all the
no.
But at the same time, they also had a place where you could go and rent Continental stuff. And it was just like fab. Like you could just get little things here and there. They had all the other gay movies like Queen and Pageant. Girl, those were the days.
Yeah. So then once I became legal and I moved out of my house, I literally got myself dressed. I had never been to a gay club before. I didn't even know what they were. I researched it online where to find a gay club. Went to I think I went to Aldo and Le Chateau and bought it out.
You know, the night before you went out. In Canada, we would go to Le Chateau. You come up with a Le Chateau outfit on. That little shirt looking oh, come on.
Yeah. So then I got myself dressed. I went by myself, went into the club, and literally just stood there. So, and then there was a drag show, and I was like, oh my God, it's so amazing. And then I just left because I wanted to experience it for myself. And as I left, one of the local girls that was currently performing asked me if I ever performed. And I said, no. And then she said, would you like to? And I said, well, yeah, of course. And then I've been performing for 15 years since then.
See?
Literally, I just did it. And when I first started, I think for the first 3 years, I performed for free. And then the next 3 years after that, I was performing for $5 and 1 drink ticket.
Come on.
And I didn't even drink. So that 1 drink ticket got me a 7-Up.
Not even 2?
It was so back in the day, and I didn't have any money because I was living on my own. So I used to take the bus in full drag to go to the venue for a $5 gig and my 7-Up just to feel my fantasy because I wanted to do it.
Just to hang out.
Yeah, I used to do that before. So then with all of that said, then that turned into us both auditioning for Canada's Drag Race Season 2. Now, did you audition for Season 1?
Hell no.
And why is that?
Because number one, my sister auditioned. So Anastasia. And who's your...
United States. We love her.
So because she auditioned, we have a thing where we try not to go into the same thing because we're very similar people.
Yeah.
So
and not to bring up like the race thing, but there's usually only one spot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's a slot.
There's a slot.
Why compete against your sister for the same slot? Makes no sense. It's a small town.
Yeah.
So I didn't go for first, and I didn't really think my drag was there. Personally. Hell, I didn't even think my drag was there for second season. I literally did second season. My audition was for fun. Like I did not take that shit seriously at all.
Okay.
And I think that was the problem.
I think that's if you didn't take your audition tape seriously, that's probably good because I feel like the big thing about when girls do audition tapes is that they put it on.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So you not necessarily not caring about your audition tape, but like not taking it as seriously made you be more authentically yourself.
Exactly.
And that's why they fell in love with you.
And that's why it was a problem.
On Drag Race.
And that's exactly why, because I was literally myself.
Yeah.
There was no pretension.
Are you saying that that's a problem that you're yourself? Because I think it's a problem.
It's always a problem. Do you know who I am? Like, no. Like, being me all the time, that's a problem. I promise you, if it's not a problem today, it's going to be a problem tomorrow.
And what was your reaction when you got the call?
I was so shocked. And I think it was really early on.
Yeah.
And we've had a discussion that we both have really early acceptances. And it was really early on, and I was just like, oh, okay. And it was at work, because I'm always working people. And so I had to like run into a closet and like be like, I can't even yell, like, you bastards. I can't scream.
God.
I can't go, I can't say anything because I'm in a closet.
That would have made me more emotional, having to keep it inside and not being able to like express it.
Yeah, and then I told Anastasia, we're not supposed to tell people, but I told Anastasia in the cutest way. She told me to pick something up for her, and I can't remember what the hell it was, and inside of it, I just wrote a note and said, I'm on Drag Race. And so she opened up what she did, and she's like, oh, yay! And then she read it, and she goes, and she started fucking screaming. And it was kind of cool.
Oh, that's so sweet. For me, we had been like locked down and like because of quarantine, and we were like in a full blown lockdown, as you know.
Yeah.
And because I've been doing drag for so long, and I do it like constantly, like I never really have a break.
Yeah.
Having this break during quarantine really made me like assess if drag is something that I still wanted to do anymore, because I've had a moment to like sit down and think about it. And because I had a couple of months, my answer to myself was, I don't want to do it anymore. Not because I don't enjoy doing it, not because this isn't the love of my life, just because I'm in Ottawa. I've done everything that I can do here, and I didn't think that there was anything else that I could accomplish for myself. And there's nothing really else that I thought I needed or wanted, because I've done everything that I wanted to do. It helped me become the person that I am, and it made me like love myself, right? So I'm like thankful for it. And I also don't want to like continue doing drag when I'm not good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to do drag when my knees are still functional. You know what I mean?
There's still so many queens who are present here in the States who have been doing this for years. They're not young women anymore, but they still do it and do it well. I think that there is a longevity if you do it correctly. You may not be doing it every weekend anymore. You may have, special moments when you step into your zhuzh, but
My thing was, it's not necessarily that I wanted to quit. It was more of, I can't keep doing drag on the caliber that I'm doing it because I'm not 20 years old anymore. And the thought of me being in gowns and doing like a slow number, like I'd much rather not do drag.
So fuck my drag.
As I'm sitting here in a gown. I'm sitting here in a gown. Okay, so with all of that to say, the audition process came.
Yes.
And then our manager, Gia Karanji from Pink Mafia Productions, I had a conversation with her because she is my drag mother. And she was like, even if you want to stop doing drag and like be behind the scenes of drag, might as well go out on top. Go out with something big. Go out with a bang.
Amen.
And after she put it to me that way, I was like, might as well just try.
Yeah.
And if I get on, then at least it's, my last hurrah for the 15 years. So it kind of feels like I wrapped a bow on the fucking thing.
Amen.
So then I auditioned. And then like you, I was one of the first ones called. And I also didn't take my audition tape very seriously. Like a lot of the girls, they do like so much editing. Yeah. And they spend so much money. They do all that stuff. And me and my assistant, who has been working with me for several years, where we're sitting right now is where we filmed it. And I think we filmed it in a day and a half. She literally just sat here and we just filmed everything in front of this wall. And then 2 days later, I had a call saying that I was continuing in Drag Race. And then when I got the answer, they lied to me and said, oh, we have to do another stage, blah, 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 blah. And then I was sitting at the dining room table and all of them popped up and they all held up signs that said, you're now on Drag Race. And I started crying.
I got one side. Like they had me talk about something. I can't remember what. And they're like, we do this or I do that and whatever. And slowly, one of them slowly puts up a sign. And it says, welcome to Canada's Drag Race.
Not the slow.
Yeah, just slow. And just like, and as soon as I was like I'm reading and talking and things like that, I'm like, ah! It was such a nice moment.
It was so.
I will say that it was a beautiful moment.
But that moment really lasted this much.
Yeah.
Because as soon as that happened, the next thing was we were preparing for Drag Race.
Yeah.
So we had a very, very short period of time. Also, like I said, we were in the middle of a pandemic, so there was a shortage of wigs. There were you couldn't get into the fabric store. So how was it getting
the post office, the
post office? You couldn't get anything
for weeks and weeks and weeks. I had to literally pay couriers, like private couriers, to deliver everything. I spent, I almost want to say thousands on delivery.
Extra, just because we couldn't get it.
Just on
so
deliveries.
How was getting ready for the show for you? Was it just complete panic or
partially? So Anastasia was actually in the States.
Oh no!
So she wasn't even
here to help
at the beginning. So it was just me and one of my other designers. We just got together and we started formulating certain things.
Yeah.
And then literally she flew in like a week and a half into the process, and she's like, "Okay, now we have time to go." And I'm like, really? Now? And so and then we started really saying, okay, this is where we're going, this is where we're going, this is where we're going. So
did her and you make your package together?
So her and me, and then as well as the other two designers, we all kind of had little powwows and just
did what you could do with the
split everything up and
amazing.
Waited for stuff to come in because everything took a year and a day to come in.
How long did it take you? Did you have time or were you getting stuff ready right till the end?
Oh, until the end, baby.
Right to the end. That's true because you brought stuff because you still weren't done. You were doing your feather.
Yeah, I couldn't travel with my feathers already completed. So I
don't know why not. You literally just had to drive down the street.
It wasn't that close. But yeah, so I couldn't come with the stuff complete because wherever we were going, it's like, okay, I have to plan as if
and we only have little amount of stuff that we can bring in. Your stuff is so
I'm just like, okay, I have to put everything together. So I was literally in our hotel room, and it's funny, everyone's like, I saw wire and tape.
Yeah.
And you came out with feather and everything.
You guys don't understand, some of the feather outfits, the wings and stuff, she literally made them in her hotel room. While we were being quarantined, she made those wings in the hotel room.
Yeah.
You brought one suitcase full of supplies.
Yeah,
literally.
Just went at it. I just went to town. Just had to.
So for me, I spent the first 4 days after I got the call, I sat on my table and I just drew out everything. Me and my assistant Sally, we went back and forth and decided what my looks were going to be, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I decided what my package was going to be, I went off. I'm in Ottawa. We don't really have designers. We have one designer that helps the drag queens. We have one wig person. So I had to do everything by myself. So I literally sat in my house for 3 weeks And every day I did 16 hours a day at the table. And then I would sleep here because there's usually a couch here.
Yeah.
So then I would sleep here and then go back. I started to run out of time. So Kiki Ko from Call Me Mother, she helped me with the Pikachu outfit, which we will get into. And then a Toronto designer did my promo. Yeah. Because I literally was out of
But the fact that you did everything else on your own, and that's the majority of it, that's just absolutely freaking insane.
Thank you.
Like the talent that you possess, I would like to suck out of you and put into myself so that way I can actually save some money.
Like, I was so overwhelmed while I was making everything because I was doing it by myself. Yeah. I wasn't sleeping. I was literally sleeping.
No one was
4
sleeping.
hours.
Like if you were lucky.
And I was just crying. And we had been in lockdown for so long that I hadn't been performing.
Haven't practicing. Had nothing.
I had no money. I was my body was out of shape.
Yeah,
and I was so rusty. And
let's not talk
my body's
about
still out of shape, and yours stays out of shape.
Okay. I have a good excuse though. Literally, every time I'm like, okay, let's get it, let's kick it. I do it. We get into lockdown. Yes. We've been in lockdown 3 times already since we've practically come out of the show. I felt like we've had many little ones,
it was crazy.
And I'm over it.
It was crazy. And then that brings us to. We show up on Drag Race. All this work, all this effort we put into our packages, auditioning. Then we show up on Drag Race. How was your Drag Race experience, let's say overall? The good and the bad. Give it to me.
The funny thing is, I had a great time. I literally have nothing but really crazy fun memories of Drag Race.
Did you have a good time while you were there, or now that you're gone and out of the situation, you kind of miss it and you feel better? Because that's how I feel. Okay. When I came back and while I was doing it, I had the worst time.
And this was so starting, it was okay, cool, this is fun, this is whatever. And then as we continued on, I just get grumpier and
because
grumpier.
We
were not sleeping.
We're women of certain age.
Okay.
So our bodies can't keep up with the 20-year-olds.
We don't do that no more.
Nanas are tired. For me, I was so scared when I first walked in. But once I got comfortable, as soon as I walked in, because I didn't see anybody and I was in the middle of the girls coming in, when I walked in and I saw you, I've never met you in my life at this point. I just immediately wanted to sit next to you because I knew if no one walks into this room that I know, then I can be friends with you. And I don't know what it is. You were just smiling. You're just beautiful. You look like all my friends that I've ever had in my whole entire life.
She got a lot of black friends.
I was so nervous. I just felt like sitting next to you, I would be safe. Mm-hmm. And then OCN walked in. And I said this story 100 times. I was so happy to see that there was somebody that I know. Yeah. I've worked with OCN for about 4 to 5 years prior to us being on Drag Race. And she's given me so many opportunities outside of Ottawa. Mm-hmm. And when I saw her come through, I was so excited, and it wasn't shown on the show. Yeah. I literally stood up, I was screaming, you know how the Brat Pack did, and I was losing my mind. And then she says hello to everybody and literally just walks by me. And I'm literally OCN. I'm OCN. And then she goes by me and I grab her by the shoulders. They didn't show this. And I'm OCN, it's Isis. And then she's Baylor Tabernacle, I didn't even know it was you. When she didn't realize it was me, I thought to myself, I was did I happen to sleep with her husband? And she just found out. I was what did I do? Are we fighting? What the hell is the problem?
You know she blind as a bat.
Yes, I know. But the whole experience, I had so much fun now that I'm sitting and looking back on it. Yes. And everything that I've been able to grow as a person, grow as a drag queen, meet people like you. I'm so happy and so grateful for the situation.
Oh yeah.
But for girls that are auditioning future seasons and people who just enjoy Drag Race, it is so hard.
It's tough.
Behind the scenes. It's so hard
tough.
as a person. Like mentally. Like
physically.
Physically. Even like not even drag, but like separate like us as real human beings, as our boy selves.
It's emotionally draining.
Yes. And especially already like being in that mindset because of COVID and not being like completely like centered. Then being thrown into Drag Race. And they throw all of that on you.
It is tough. And then they want to know all your secrets.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So what was your least favorite part? Being eliminated? Because that was my favorite.
No. So this is what I put up with. Don't worry, I got it. So my least favorite was, I think, the time frames. Because I feel like...
The time frames of what?
Makeup, getting things done. Like, we all know it's going to be really, really fast. But it's just like, you want me to jump through hoops. Which is tough because it's like, all of us are virgins when it comes to this aspect of filming something, talking while still getting ready. A lot of us do that, and it's something that we always do when we're in the drag world, is painting and talking. But there's a different speed when we have to do it, because it's not just like an hour and a half for just our face. It's an hour and a half for our face, everything, our body, and getting in full drag. Like there's a timer.
And talking about your dead grandmother.
Yes.
Yes.
Who rose from the dead after 3 days.
Yes. And don't forget your dog.
Okay. No, Sparky, no.
Not bingo. Not bingo. So your time frame. I do agree. I've gotten ready with you several times outside of the show, and you were like me. You get ready at home. You get ready by yourself. You like to have a drink. You want to take your smoke breaks to smoke your weed. You want to play music.
Amen.
You want to enjoy the process of doing drag.
And that's just it. It's an enjoyment, because I do take drag as, I know it sounds weird, but almost like it's a therapeutic, spiritual kind of a process. Because for me, when I perform, it is my therapy. Whatever I'm going through, I find a song and I put that through, which is probably why B44 wasn't where I was at that point in time in my life.
Which is so funny, because when we got our music, that was the song that I wanted.
I know! And that's insane. And I wanted Fifi Dobson. I wanted Nelly Furtado.
Yes.
Or Biff Naked.
We had some good Canadian music.
We did.
Like classic good Canadian music.
We did.
Yes.
B44 was not one of them.
That's what I grew up on. I loved it.
We both grew up on that shit.
I know, but I loved it.
We're the same damn age, but still, Like, no.
So, for me, the part that I did not like was just my physical body.
You were put through it.
I was put through it.
You were. Your paces, baby.
We make jokes about like my body being old and stuff like that. But it is honest. I have been performing on a caliber continuously since I've been 20 years old.
Yep.
And I refuse to not allow myself to perform like that. So even though I'm 15 years older, I'm still trying to perform like I'm 20.
That's a problem.
And that on Drag Race, a little like behind the scenes tea, as you know, when we were doing the Rusical challenge, we had to practice for the Rusical we had a whole day, right?
Yeah, we had a whole day to do the lines memorized, dance moves memorized, and complete within not 24 hours, because literally you had maybe about 8 hours to rehearse everything. Yeah. We got to go home to rest.
Yeah, for 4 hours.
For 4 hours to come back, rehearse it 2 more times, and film.
Yeah, so when we were doing our rehearsal day, it was like, we started like 5:30 in the morning and went home at 12 o'clock at night.
Yep.
I had the dancing part with Stephanie. So we had so much choreography and like intense like Super Bowl Janet Jackson because of Hollywood, who I absolutely fucking adore.
We adore. Je l'adore.
But there was a move where we had to jump in the air and like kick. And we did that so many times for several hours that I end up really busting my leg.
Oh, we know.
And I literally, on the runway, behind the scenes, we had like heating pads. They were strapped underneath my tights with duct tape around them just to get me to walk. I literally, like you can ask Kamora, for 2 weeks on set, I had a bruise that was black from here to here, and I literally could not walk. Like, I was destroyed. So the fact of everything that happened to my body while I was on the show, like, that wasn't a tagline. Like, guys, I suffered.
No, she suffered. Watching her suffer, while it was like, oh my God, it was funny as hell. Okay, her knees went pinker and pinker and pinker as the days went on. That's number one. The heating pads...
my God.
She would have a heating pad here, ice packs here, and another set of heating pads
laying
there.
on the floor. Laying on the floor.
She literally, at one point, if you get the image of Mr. Burns, like hunched over, like in utter pain, that is what she looked like. Because she was bald and just like emaciated. She looked like one of those animals that you want to put down.
Surrounded by empty apple sauces and green juices, just trying to stay alive.
Just drinking like the little things she could for sustenance.
Because I couldn't even chew.
No,
I literally couldn't even chew.
Everything hurt. Everything hurt. Girl. No, it's trauma, and that's why honestly,
watching Drag Race now.
It's so triggering.
Kamora is here for my birthday, and last night we watched UK versus the World together. And the first thing we said, we actually looked at each other. The first thing that we said is, "Girl, do you feel it?" Because I feel it. Because you feel like slight PTSD after being on Drag Race and then watching it.
Yeah.
Not because
I can't watch the in between.
Yes.
Like it's so
hard to focus now.
Yeah, because you know how much
what's going on.
goes with it and how much you have to take and retake and girl, it's just like it's triggering. It really is triggering. So I really have to go to like the runway because that was honestly my happiest point of my Drag Race experience is always on that runway. I enjoyed every minute of that.
I think for a season that wasn't so much drama, I think our season there was such important conversations that were had, that were, many of them were led by you. It was nice because we were in COVID and everyone had so many like mental struggles to just watch our season, something that was easy to watch, something that was loving, educational. I think our season is one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. Yeah. Even if I wasn't on it, like, I loved our season.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think that the fact that we literally were a ball of love and literally in
because we hadn't seen anybody or touched anybody
in like a year. It wasn't
I'm surprised none of us slept with each other.
I'm sure someone tried.
I'm sure we'll try later.
No, but we all know OCN tried with everybody. So everybody. She's currently stalking Eve. She's like a velociraptor or more like a T-Rex. Little arms. Just.
Oh my God. Now, and OCN's coming here next week.
Yeah.
Now when she comes through the door, I'm just going to greet her like this. Not the snorting. Oh my God, I'm supposed to be excited. That's so funny.
Oh God, this is why we can't be together. Yeah.
But let's we're gonna wrap up the conversation about Drag Race and move forward. But I do want to discuss some of the things and discussions that you did talk about on the show. You educated me so much, and it was so beautiful to watch you, somebody who is so educated and fights for so many amazing causes, to watch you even learn things yourself that you didn't know before.
Oh yeah,
like it was amazing to watch.
It was so good. Like even the discussions we had again with pronouns. When it comes to the whole they them and calling someone they them, I come from a background where that is just so disrespectful to call someone a they and it. Anything of that kind of magnitude to kind of it just takes away the humanity from someone. Yeah. So because it's so ingrained in me, I'm just like, I'd rather just call someone by their name because at least I am acknowledging who they are, who they present as by their name versus the some of the pronouns that it's just hard for me to kind of jump that hurdle and get over, and the talking about it with everyone and really kind of putting that on the table that, you know what, we're still such a progression for a lot of us to kind of learn and catch up, because especially from us from the medical field, where we have this idea of male, female, and some other things, and how some other things work, and this is it, and the biology of, and then coming into, you also have to think of the sociology of everything else.
Yeah,
it's tough sometimes.
Yeah. I think you were such an important part of Drag Race, and when you left, I was completely heartbroken.
Oh, girl, I know
there was so much that was behind the scenes.
That day she was just like, why are you just giving up? Like, what?
Yeah, I was like, I don't get mad very often, but like mad and upset at the same time.
Upset.
Like I was upset. Like I was so and I went through the whole like grieving process, right? While you were still there, I was mad, I was sad, I was disappointed. It was when you left, because now that we're off Drag Race, we are actually friends.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And having you there, I just felt so safe. And
we definitely were each other's safety blanket. Yeah. Like 150%. Like anytime, and that's why I used to hate that she would like run off. Like let me So she got, because she smoked cigarettes, she got the most breaks, so she was never like, we'd be there like huddling, giving us love fest. She's out there like, I hate those bitches.
And then I was always the first one to leave.
And then you were to do, at the end of the night, we literally were like, they were like, okay, and cut. And all you saw was her go foop, 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 and shuffle, and she was out the door. And what I hate is that she had a special queen care person that would literally be like, okay, and we're moving the eagle. Eagle is moving now. Okay, I have eagle. Eagle has landed. We're in the car. We're going home. And it was just like, she was already a celebrity on the show. She had her own escort out, and I'm there just like, does no one want to play with me? Like, I was like, I still have energy. Like it was.
It wasn't even like a celebrity thing. It really was that Queen Care, especially, work so hard behind the scenes for all of us. They're literally, some of them are up 24 hours. Literally. Like, to answer our own phone calls and take care of us. Yeah. So the fact that I was pretty much the only drag queen that when the day was done, wanted to go home and rest. Yeah. They wanted to go home and rest with me. Yeah. Because the rest of you wanted to kiki and hang out and get stuff ready for the next day.
We really don't talk, but we
you had it like a second.
Yeah, it was just the chance to kind of just have a, how are you doing today? Kind of a.
But for me, my was to be by myself. Do you know what I mean? Because I was just being so overloaded.
Always by herself. Yeah, but it was a lot. It was a lot of personalities. There was a lot coming at you all the time. And I'm not used to that. And girl, who was used to that? That was.
Do you have someone specific you're talking about? Would you like to share on Tea Time with Nana?
No. But there was a lot of different personalities, and honestly, coming at you at some times, you're just like, like you didn't know how to take it all in. But at the same time, it was like a great bonding experience. Was that downtime? Like we really kind of got to know. Well, I thought we got to know each other for a long period. Yeah.
We can do another video, girl. Save it. Save it.
But yeah, I think we really got to really bond in those like little downtime moments. Yeah. Which you ran off from.
Yes. I apologize.
It's okay.
You've had more time with me than anyone else since the show.
That's a lie.
So I think
OCN has moved in.
That's because she just shows up at my house.
The fact that OCN is not here is what's
shocking.
We're talking.
She's coming next week.
Like I said. Okay, she's already planned. I'm leaving. I just took a lot to plan for me to be here. Yes. And OCN's just like, yes, I'll be here next week. And she just left a week ago.
To say all of that, I think we had an amazing season.
We did.
I think it was
a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Like, so much. I don't even know how else to explain it. It literally was just like so much fun. I felt like we were going to like summer camp. Like, do you know what I mean? Like away from
band camp.
OCN with the flute in her hotel room.
Oh, girl. So I don't know if everyone knows this or not. I don't know if OCN's actually said it or not. Or I know I have it several times, but OCN burned down her kitchen. OCN.
Oh my god!
She burned down her kitchen. Like not like I'm talking about Mrs. Doubtfire, breasts on fire. Like burned down her kitchen.
Yeah, there's so much like behind the scenes, and once our contract is up, we can have a full conversation about everything. There's so much like funny things to talk about.
What y'all want to know? I'll tell you.
But going forward, what are you excited for the year? Lockdown is finally done.
It is done.
So now we're going to be able to enjoy all our work on Drag Race.
Yes.
What do you have coming up? What are you excited to do in the future before the new season comes?
Oh, okay. So, well, we have the tour coming up. So
yes.
planning for that is still
the Voss Events tour.
Yes.
All across Canada.
All across.
Yes.
Except the far east,
yes.
unfortunately.
Yes.
But don't worry, we'll come out another way. But definitely the tour, and then I have some great Black History Month
really
projects
for that.
coming up. One with Capital Pride here in Ottawa, and then another with Seneca College, and then I'm going to be competing in a pageant in the States.
And I'm coming to see you.
I know!
So for me, I'm going to be touring a whole bunch of places. I'm going to the UK. I'm going to the US. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be in Canada with you. Mm-hmm. So many projects. I have an EP that's going to be coming out later this year.
She's recording
followed by a tour. So it's going to be fun. And yeah, I'm so excited that you're doing this with me.
Who else did you do it with? She only got one friend. Here it is.
All right, so stay tuned. We are going to continue to make more videos.
Yes.
I think next up we are going to critique our season of Canada's Drag Race. Ooh. And all the looks.
And we're going to tell the truth.
And we're going to tell the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm Isis Couture.
And I'm Kamora.
And this is Tea Time with Nana.
Whoa.
Bye, guys.